Transforming your life through hypnotherapy has never been easier. With the help of your host, Julie from coachinghypnosis.net, and these power-packed minisodes, you're sure to find yourself engaging in more positive behaviors around both your physical and mental health. Here's your host, Julie.
G'day, it's Julie from coachinghypnosis.net, and you deserve to know the one mighty survive grief hypnosis tip for 2022, because people are exhausted from the roller coaster of grief and want to know how to process it all. And I'm not a therapist or psychotherapist, but this is my note here as a clinical hypnotherapist in strategic psychotherapy. I currently help my clients online. They change their life without changing out of their pajamas. And you deserve to know the truth about what can be achieved by using hypnosis when dealing with grief. And as you know, grief can cause great stress. It takes time to grieve a loved one's death, and I don't know if you've ever felt drained, lack of concentration, couldn't find the time to grieve, or emotionally overwhelmed. But what I do know is hypnosis has a special technique known as disassociation that can give you some relief. For example, I can ask a client to imagine holding a tennis ball in their right hand, ask them to put all of their feelings and sensations into the tennis ball in their right hand. So I don't know the last time you got to experience a safe, peaceful state here away from the world's nonsense, because I don't know the last time you got to leave the world's nonsense out there to enjoy this peaceful state here. And now imagine blowing a bubble of gum and let it pop. And blow another bubble of gum. This time, let it float away a meter in front of you. And I don't know if you'll start to see all the great fun times you had in the bubble, the things you were grateful for. But what I do know is this is your safe space. And maybe you notice the client now has any overwhelming emotions that they used to have in the tennis ball in their right hand. And they've chosen to review the good times. And later on, I can give them a choice for catharsis release, to leave behind any unwanted emotions and take the ones that they want to take with them into the future with them. But it's not that simple. Grief is different for everyone. And usually the grief-stricken person makes a constructive visual image as being with a person they've lost. They see themselves with the loved ones who are now gone or unavailable somehow because they see themselves having a good time. They feel empty because they're not in the picture. But when they step inside the very same picture that stimulates the grief response, they're able to recover positive kinesthetic feelings of good experiences they shared with that person they cared very much about. And that serves as a resource for them going on and constructing something new for themselves in their lives instead of a trigger for a grief response. And grief can be very personal, and there's no wrong or right way how you should mourn. But whatever pain you feel, it's necessary to be patient and let it unfold naturally. But try and seek immediate medical assistance to ensure you can sleep and have no underlying health issues, and get another checkup 1 or 2 months later to track your progress. And I used to be an advocate of explaining the 5 stages of grief to people if they asked about it so they could understand what to expect. But recently I met a couple who unexpectedly lost their son 15 years ago, and they said something like they don't know how they got over it. But that 5 stages of grief stuff, it wasn't anything like that. And to remind you, the 5 stages of grief are: denial, it helps us survive the loss. In this stage, the world becomes meaningless and overwhelming. Life makes no sense. We're in a state of shock and denial. We go numb. We wonder how we can go on, and if we can go on, why we should go on. We try and find a way to simply get through each day. Denial helps us pace our feelings of grief. Stage 2, anger. And anger is strength, giving temporary structure to the nothingness of loss. At first, grief feels like being in a sea, no connection to anything. And when you get angry at someone, maybe a person who didn't attend the funeral, or a person who isn't around, maybe a person who's different now that your loved one has died, suddenly you have structure to your anger towards them. Stage 3, bargaining. Like when you ask yourself, can I just wake up and realize this has all been a bad dream? We become lost in a maze of if only and what if statements. Guilt is often bargaining's companion. The if onlys cause us to find fault in ourselves and we think we could have done something differently. Stage 4 is depression. Sometimes this depressive stage feels as though it will last forever, and it's important to understand that this depression is not a sign of mental illness. It's the appropriate response to a great loss. Stage 5, acceptance, is often confused with the notion of being all right or okay and what has happened. That's not the case. Most people don't ever feel okay or all right about the loss of a loved one. This stage is about accepting the reality that our loved one is physically gone and recognizing that this new reality is the permanent reality. And it reminds me of Bill O'Hanlon described once upon a time initially. Becoming an organ and tissue donor was almost non-existent. And there was once an American family driving on holiday through Italy, and they saw bandits, and the bandits asked them to pull over. And so they asked their kids to lie down in the back seat. When they drove past the bandits shot the back of the car. The bandits didn't know there were children in the back of the car, and their children died. The American parents donated their child's organs and went on to save several people's lives. And all over the newspapers in Italy, the Italians were saying how nice this American family, their children have been shot by Italian bandits, and yet they've gone on to save the lives of Italians. But so much more than that, it started a movement. More and more Italians started to become organ and tissue donors, and to this day, those children, in a way, have saved thousands of Italians' lives. But here is the one mighty Survive Grief Hypnosis tip for 2022, how to handle uncertainty. Thank you for finding the time to be here. Hypnosis can't eliminate grief, but what I do know is it's a safe space where you can rest from your grief. Thank you for giving yourself permission to be free of all worry now. This is a time to be more relaxed and at peace with yourself. If you could feel your elbows down, give yourself a hug, and you can allow your body to relax, maybe one side more than the other, both feet firmly planted on the ground, grounding you now. How productive your feet are at resting, the Achilles heel resting, your ears resting, at peace with themselves, dreamy and drowsy, floating in the distance, backs of your legs, tummy resting now, so comfortably, and you can let your chest rise and fall. You can relax your knees, legs, heart, eyes, and I'm curious to know if you can relax your lungs, and I wonder if you could take a moment to relax your jaw, mouth, tongue, skin, eyebrows. You can smile at the corner of your eyes at the idea of relaxing your organs now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the freedom you have in this space, the space out there, the space in here, this safe space, breathing in and breathing out. And it's okay to know you're here, and your body might be way over there as you listen to me from your little toe. I'm not sure you completely comprehend how special you are. No one else has your body, mind, your character, spirit, your experience, your resourcefulness. That's how special, perfect you are. Because you're fabulous, you can remember to look at yourself with compassion, can't you? I'm not sure you've noticed you've slowed down heart rate, blood pressure. That's how special you are. And at any time you can be here in your safe space, away from overwhelming emotions. But you can slowly, at a distance in sound, feeling, imagery, remember the positives, remembering to connect your love, your wisdom, your power, your strength on the outside and on the inside. You can let the corners of your eyes smile, and there can be tears of joy, of those wonderful moments of reconnecting in your safe space, your place, where you can gently remind yourself to get things done. And I don't know if it's to remind yourself to rest, to eat, self-care with compassion. But what I do know is you can be a little kinder to yourself, can't you? And in a moment, when you're ready, you can reorient yourself back to your external world. You're perfect just as you are. So what if you thought about grief hypnosis differently? And what if you didn't? The choice is yours.